If you're a fan of Star Trek in any way, we can reasonably assume you've been influenced by the show's inspirational storytelling and beloved crew. Well, people aren't the only things that can be inspired by Trek. It turns out fictional characters have also joined the landing party.
Ranking with Roddenberry.
Hello and welcome to Ranking with Roddenberry. I'm Jessica Lynn Verdi. This is a brand new YouTube series from Roddenberry Entertainment where we divvy out Starfleet rankings from Ensign to Admiral. And today, we're spotlighting 5 times a fictional character was influenced by Star Trek. So let's get into it.
Paul Kinsey from Mad Men.
In Mad Men Season 5, Paul Kinsey, the most, let's just say, open-minded of the copywriters, writes a Star Trek spec script called The Negron Complex, an episode where white people are enslaved by black people.
Are you kidding me?
While we appreciate the intention and love Kinsey's acknowledgement that at its best, Star Trek tackles important issues, we're not sure that this was his best idea. Not to mention, apparently, it was just a bad script.
It's really bad.
And Kinsey's former boss, Harry, agrees and doesn't pitch it to NBC.
That's a twist.
Despite that, this plot line illustrates the clumsy way in which many white allies struggled to grasp the complexities of systemic racism in America during the 1960s. And while we'd argue that Star Trek executed it so much better in episodes like Let This Be Your Last Battlefield, we do think it's admirable that Paul wanted to put an anti-racist story into the world, especially at a time when the general cultural norm was to avoid talking about such things. We're gonna give this one Ensign. Paul hasn't been a regular on the series for quite some time, and after this episode, we don't see him again. So his Star Trek influence doesn't have a lasting impression on the series, but his counterculture ways still earns a ranking.
Josh Lyman from The West Wing.
In an episode of The West Wing, Josh, the White House deputy chief, spots a White House staffer wearing a Star Trek pin and orders for it to be taken off. The staffer, Janice, pushes back. She explains that Star Trek stands for
Honor and loyalty and civic duty, and the fact that you don't think that those are characteristics that should be displayed inside the White House is sad.
After it seems like Josh has been thoroughly schooled, he explains his reasoning, admitting in the process that he's a Star Trek fan too.
I'm a fan.
The difference between them, however, is he doesn't wear his fandom on his lapel, figuratively or literally.
Here's what I don't do. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar. Let's list our 10 favorite episodes.
What's wrong with ranking things, Josh? Anyway, there's Star Trek influence in the characters and in the writing. Like Star Trek often does, this dilemma in The West Wing presents 2 opposing ideas and allows its characters to wrestle with the choices psychologically. We love knowing that Josh is a Trekkie, and that's why this makes our list. However, we can only rank this Ensign because this is the first and last time we ever hear about it. Come on, Josh, just let your freak flag fly.
Except on Star Trek holidays.
Danielle Poole from For All Mankind.
Danielle Poole, a NASA astronaut, the first woman to step on Mars, and an all-around badass. And if the Mars bit wasn't a dead giveaway, a fictional character from the Apple Plus TV series For All Mankind. During liftoff, she pointedly quotes Captain Kirk word for word from his speech in A Taste of Armageddon.
We're human beings, with the blood of 1,000,000 savage years on our hands. But we can stop it.
We can admit that we're killers, but we're not going to kill them.
Today. That's all it takes. Knowing that we're not going to kill today.
In this moment, we learn just how much Star Trek has shaped Danielle's worldview. It's not just anyone that can recite a Kirk quote perfectly, and no, Khan does not count. What's more, Danielle later shares that she has every intention of making her granddaughter a Trekkie. Now that's one lucky kid. We're ranking this one Lieutenant Commander because it's a perfect nod to how Star Trek has influenced real-life astronauts to reach for the stars, both in our world and in alternate timelines.
Young Sheldon.
Star Trek and the gang in The Big Bang Theory go together like Bajorans and the Prophets, with Sheldon Cooper being the biggest fan of them all.
It's only logical.
And thanks to the spin-off series Young Sheldon, we have the opportunity to see just how formative the franchise was for him. Throughout the entire series of Young Sheldon, Star Trek is either being watched, taped over, or cosplayed. But perhaps the most poignant moment for Young Sheldon was the time he insisted on attending a birthday party in full Mr. Spock cosplay. Oh, and his persona, of course. What might have resulted in social ridicule instead earns him acceptance from the birthday boy.
It's a multifunctional handheld device used for scanning and analysis.
Cool. Who willingly ends up playing Sheldon's Ensign. The logical mind of Mr. Spock helped Sheldon, both young and old, understand himself better and socialize more comfortably. So even though Sheldon's blood doesn't run green, this Star Trek influence earns a commander ranking, just like Spock himself. Because what's more Star Trek than bridging the gaps between understanding and the self?
Fascinating.
We sure hope you're enjoying this list so far, but before we get to the final ranking, take a moment to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when another video comes out.
Riri Williams from Ironheart.
In Ironheart, the 2025 Disney Plus series, Star Trek isn't just referenced, it's woven into the DNA of the series. Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, isn't just a Marvel hero, she's also a Trekkie. It all starts in episode 2, when Xavier, Riri's classmate, sometimes rival, sometimes something more, makes a Star Wars joke.
I've waited many moments to hear you admit defeat, young Padawan.
Riri takes this opportunity to let us know and remind Xavier you're supposed to be Star Trek ride or die.
You know, Trekkies for life, but be your own people.
In a heartfelt scene from episode 4, Xavier compares Riri to Spock.
Spock.
And when she pushes back, saying she sees herself more as an Uhura, he stands his ground, showing Riri that he knows her and Star Trek too well to be wrong. After a falling out, in episode 5, she writes Xavier a note with the TOS-era Starfleet Delta drawn on the envelope. He shows up at her garage with coffee, calls her captain, and to top it all off, the name on the cup? James Tiberius. He was particularly moved by the Wrath of Khan quote she used to smooth things over. Of all the souls I've encountered on my travels, hers was the most
Human.
The Star Trek inspiration in Ironheart is synonymous with the storytelling, just like it was in the original comic. Unsurprisingly, Ironheart creator Chinaka Hodge is one of us. She's a self-proclaimed Trekkie for life, just like Riri. The Star Trek influence in Ironheart really deepens the storytelling, and that's why we rank it Admiral. Riri doesn't just reference Star Trek, she lives by it. From quoting Wrath of Khan to identifying with Uhura, Trek shapes how she sees herself and the world around her. That's not just fandom. That's character. Well, there you have it. 5 fictional characters that have been influenced by Star Trek much in the same way we have been. Let us know how you've been shaped by Star Trek by leaving your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, make it so.